Hi everybody, welcome back to Excelling with Excel. This is our last video for this training session, and we're going to be talking about how to print things in Excel. So Excel is a unique program because spreadsheets can be quite big. Especially looking at things like our data progression sheets. Our data progression sheets can include many different students, and they can go for pages and pages if we just print them just like this. So I want to explain to you some different tips for how to print your spreadsheets that might be helpful to you. First of all, I think it's important that you know that you do not have to print an entire spreadsheet at one time. So if, for example, you only wanted to print students through student 4 here, and you only wanted to print through December, what you can do is you can highlight the information that you would like to be printed. Let's say it was that. And up in your let me move the camera up so you can see here. Up in your toolbar, you have some options of what, and we want to choose the, I think it's page layout. Yep. You're going to choose page layout, and you're going to choose print area. So you're saying to the printer when you choose print area, this is the only area that I want to print right now. Please do not print anything else, okay? So feel free to do that. The other thing that you want to check when you're printing in Excel is your orientation. For me, most of the Excel files that I make for BM Williams are typically, the best layout for them is to be in the setup here as the landscape option as opposed to portrait, because most of the work is going horizontally and goes quite a long way. So you might want to make sure that you have your orientation set up for landscape. Then you've set your print area. You can build breaks into your pages, and building breaks essentially means that I want you to print from 1 to 4, page break, then 5 to 6, page break. So you can certainly set that up. The other thing that I want to tell you a little bit about is the print titles option right here. I love this option, and right now I have it set up so that the columns on this area will repeat on the left, okay? So I have set it up so that every time you print, your students' names will print out with this sheet. But had this been a new data sheet like the one we created today, this one here, this information would not automatically print out on each page. So once I did this page, if there were a lot more students, you would not see this again or not see this again on the top of each page. And I don't know about you, but it's much easier to read when I have those headers there. So again, if I was here, I would do page layout. I would put print titles. And then what I can do is I can actually drag what I want it to print on each page. So I can choose, okay, whoops, sorry guys, all right. So I can choose here, so let's say columns to print at left, I'd click in here, and then I can print, I can choose which columns I want it to repeat, and this is the columns I want it to repeat. And then I can pick which rows, and I can pick on the top which rows I want it to repeat. So when I print this now, it's going to repeat the columns and the rows for me, so I'll know which student is if we're on multiple pages and not just on the first page. And then you just click OK, and we could do a print preview if we wanted to make sure that it looked right for us. And yes, you can see it there. Everything looks great there. All right. And then I would just hit OK and we'd be ready to go. So let's go back to the data progression sheet that we were working on. Now, this is going to be multiple pages long. If you want to know where the pages break, you can click on the breaks and you can insert a page break. So in other words, for example, if I wanted it to break right here, okay, in December, and so that January would be on another page and the unit test would be on another page, you can move around those page breaks as you desire. The other thing that you can do also is if you go to File and Print, you are going to have the option here of scaling your page. Okay, so if we look at this right now, of course I had only a certain number of students selected, but look at how many pages long this is. This is six pages long of information. All right, and I do not want a 6-page document. I want to make it less. So you can actually go to the scaling option here and you can say fit all rows on one page. Now I can tell you with the size of this document, that's going to look very crazy. So we're going to do it just so you can see, and the print preview will show you. Okay, so we have all the rows here, and now instead of being 6 pages long, it's going to be 3 pages long. If I wanted to, I could try to fit all of the columns on one page. Now this is the one that's going to look a little funky. Okay, you see that? It's because this Excel sheet has so many columns on it. In order to make it fit on one sheet, it has to make it almost microscopic. So is that a great way to print this page? No, but printing all of the rows on one page would work. So I'm going to go back to here. And so now I have all of the rows, but not necessarily all of the columns. And you'll notice where it breaks right here. I certainly could get more on this page, so I'm going to go back. I want to play with where the page breaks are to fit more on here. But if you only wanted it to report for January, what you could do is maybe hide some of those cells that you didn't need, and then it would look much cleaner and much better. So I just wanted to show you some of the different things that you can do in order to fit more cells on a page that you are printing. So I hope that helps you out. Again, those page breaks up here, you can insert the page breaks and move them around on the different page to help you out with when you're printing. If another option too, don't forget about your margins. You can have narrow or wide margins or normal margins. I usually have narrow margins when I'm doing spreadsheets because there's usually a lot of data and you want to try to fit as much as you can on a page. It's not like writing a letter where you need 1-inch margins or anything like that. So, well, now you've learned a little bit how to print different spreadsheets in Excel, and I hope that was beneficial for you, and I hope you enjoyed today's training. Thanks so much.